Get ready to learn how to do wheel pose, also known as upward facing bow pose. This carefully constructed class will help to warm up your muscles and increase flexibility, helping you to master wheel pose. Hello and welcome to Asana with Jess. We're going to start in our tabletop position. Going through some cat and cow motions, inhaling, arching the back, looking forward, exhaling, rounding the spine, tucking the chin in. Inhale and exhale, round. Inhale, dipping the spine, looking forward, exhaling and rounding. Continuing this at your own pace. Taking one more here. Keeping your knees the same, walk your hands forward and come onto your elbows. Bringing your hands into a prayer pose and resting your forehead on the mat. Try and lower your sternum towards the mat, creating a deep stretch along your spine. Draw a deep breath in, and as you exhale, dip your spine further, reducing the space between your chest and the mat. Continue to focus on your breath, your pranayama. Take one last breath here and slowly make your way back up into a tabletop position. Lengthen your right leg out behind you and elongate your left hand in front of you for our bird dog pose. You are welcome to stay here, but if you'd like to take it a step further, bend your knee and reach your hand towards your foot, pressing that foot into your hand, deepening this back bend. Taking one more deep breath here and lengthening your leg and arm out again and lowering back into your tabletop position. Doing the same on the other side, lengthen your left leg out behind you this time and your right arm out in front of you. Remembering you can stay here, but to advance this pose, you can bend your left knee and reach your arm around, grabbing onto your foot and pushing into that hand. arching the back, lifting up, keeping your gaze forward. Reaching that foot a little bit higher with each exhale. And releasing that leg back behind you and your arm in front and lowering into our tabletop position. We're going to turn around and come onto our backs, making your way to the mat in your own time. Keeping your knees bent, make sure they are hip width apart, and making sure you can touch your heels with your hands. Inhaling, and on the exhale, lifting the hips off the mat, intertwining your fingers below. Make sure to keep your neck elongated. For an added stretch, you can support your hips as I am doing here. To advance this pose, lift one leg out, lifting it up on a vertical angle. If you are in the advanced version of this pose, you can lower your leg to the ground and do the same on the other side, elongating that leg out and lifting it up on a vertical angle. If you have your leg extended, you can lower it to the mat. And release your hips to the ground. Bring your arms above your head and place your hands on the mat. Inhale, exhaling, lifting your hips off the mat, coming onto the top of your head. And then push all the way up using your hands. Lifting up through the chest, shoulders in line with the hands. You are most welcome to stay here if this is as far as your practice takes you, or you can take some variations. The first variation is to walk your legs forward, walking them down your mat, lengthening out through the legs. The next variation is to lift one leg up, bending at the knee and lengthening that leg vertical. Doing the same on the other side, lifting the opposite leg up vertical and lowering to the mat. Whichever variation of wheel pose you are in, slowly lower yourself to the mat and tuck your knees into your chest as a counteractive pose. When you are ready, we're going to do our wheel pose again. The more times we do it, the more flexibility we will have. So lifting up onto the crown of your head and then pushing all the way up. One last variation is coming up onto your tippy toes. You can stay in this pose for as long as you like, but if you're ready, gently lower yourself to the mat. Hugging the knees into the chest once more. Introducing some rocks from side to side, gently massaging the spine. make your way up into a cross-legged position in the middle of your mat. We will move on to some wrist stretches, bringing your left arm out in front of you and holding it with your right hand. And swapping hands, this time bringing your right arm out in front of you and holding onto it with your left hand. Pushing against that hand. Now take your left arm out in front of you, placing your hand the opposite way, using your right hand to pull against it. And do the same with the right arm. Lastly, intertwine your fingers and take some gentle circles with your wrists. And change direction, circling the other way. And taking one last wrist stretch. Taking circles with your hands, releasing any wrist tension. And placing your hands on your knees. Closing your eyes and taking the time to thank yourself for showing up to this practice today. Well done on your achievements so far. If you couldn't quite master the full wheel pose yet, that's okay. These things take time. Just keep practicing this video and you will get there. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. Sending you love and light. Namaste.